Well, I personally say my gender is yes and. Are you a man? Yes. And also something else. Are you a woman? Yes. And also something else. But also some days it just varies. Some days I want to feel womanly, some days I want to feel manly. Hello, my name is Emi Grate. I am the greatest drag queen you will ever meet, and that is spelled with Grate. I take humility very seriously. Let me just give you my formal biography that I sent to all the show producers and booking people I work with. I am a multimedia queer artist, which is how I see drag. I am best known for my work as Emigrate, the drag queen. When I'm not in drag, I work management for a COVID testing clinic. I am based out of Brooklyn, New York. I am originally from Mandalay, Burma, born and raised. I am an LGBT asylee in this country. My titles and accolades: Miss BK 2018, Miss Brooklyn Pride 2020, producer of A+, the Pan Asian Drag Review, the first weekly brunch host in Brooklyn. That's the general gist of it, I would say. My parents were both doctors, and the main reason I would say why I came to this country is because I did not want to go to medical school where I grew up. So I was like, let me just leave the country, go to the West, and explore the possibilities. So here I am with the most niche of possibilities, that is being a drag artist. Growing up, one of the things I was taught was, you have to plan for the future, but don't get too caught up in it. And also don't have too many regrets about the past or hang-ups. Live more in the present. That also has to do with my Buddhist upbringing about being mindful, aware, and in the moment, which I try to keep up with to this day, especially when I'm on stage. I try to be very aware and present, and to a certain degree in control of what I am up to and how it affects people. My parents have seen me do one show live, and they have seen almost every digital show that I have done. The wonders of the internet. My parents came here in 2017 for my sister's graduation from college. It's the first time they came to the US, but they already knew that I was queer, I was trans, that I did drag, and they've always been curious about what it's actually like. So our family friend got us together in her backyard, and she told me, hey, the day before they fly out, you're gonna come over, I'm going to invite friends, and we're going to have a drag brunch on the back porch. I was like, that's a great idea. And her thinking was, we're gonna give them a lot of things to think about, and they're gonna think about it on their 20+ hour flight home. And their response after seeing the show was actually, we have notes. When I first came out, I came out in late 2011. It was a very confusing time for both myself and my parents. I was experiencing culture shock. I was alone in this country, and I wasn't getting along with people at school because of culture shock, and I wasn't able to talk to my family because I just came out, and that sent me into a downward spiral. But the distance of us being on different sides of the world actually helped strengthen our relationship and rebuild it. They finally came to an understanding and an acknowledgement that I'm operating in a different cultural context than what they can comprehend. So their conclusion was, okay, as long as you're doing well and you're not hurting yourself or others, we're gonna stand back and watch. And they've been watching since. Even though I've always been a mama's boy growing up, for like the big life lessons, I usually look to my dad. He once quoted the Dhammapara, which is a collection of quotes from the Buddha. And one thing that always sticks with me is Adahi Adano Nato, which means you yourself are your own and only refuge in the world. You have to be self-sufficient before you rely on other people or a higher being. You have to depend on yourself, which is always present in my mind. And for example, when people ask me for coming out advice, I always tell them, coming out isn't about asking people to love you and accept you. It's something you do after you have come to fully accept who you are. It's just a declaration to the world. This is who I am sufficient, and I am enough. I'm okay with it. You can take it or leave it. That's a very specific example of how my upbringing shows up in my drag and how I navigate social interactions, especially with audience. When the pandemic happened, they were able to actually tune in on the internet to most of my shows. I would usually have like one every other week. They really got to know more of my work and what it means to me and what it means to others around me. I stream on Twitch, and they could also read in the chat what other people say. So they know that I have a community here that I'm taking care of, and that I am also taking care of other people. Another lesson from my father is you have to balance working for the good of your own. Ada hita, ada means ego, hita means the good or well-being, and parahita meaning good for others. That is lesson number 2 from my father. My version of daddy lessons, if you will. I saw digital drag as an opportunity to explore drag on a different medium rather than, oh, I can't go out anymore, however will I do shows? When I first came to New York, I didn't come to New York with the dream of being on Broadway or anything. I came to New York because it is the city where I could get around on my own without the need for a car because of public transit. I did not necessarily have a community around me. Everybody I knew them from the Midwest, and after graduation, everybody spread out all across the country and all over the world. And I also have friends and family all the way in Asia and some in Europe. When digital drag happened, it became an opportunity for me to actually hang out with different people from different places. There are people who have been wanting to see my work and haven't been able to. So I really reveled in that community, in that opportunity. It felt like something I had been waiting to happen. I always wanted to go to other towns and perform, but I could do it from the comfort of my own home while also learning video editing. So most of 2020, I was indoors and doing my own little drag thing and very happy about it. But in 2021, one of my close friends reached out to me. He had started work at a COVID testing site. They were expanding and he's becoming manager, and they pretty much told him to hire his friends. So I got on board and it became a steady income, which is weird because I had never had steady income doing drag and freelancing gigs around the city. I've had work, but it's not always consistent, and there were patches of time where I was always freaking out about money. And for the first time in the pandemic, I had financial stability and I was able to keep doing drag, even though it's on the internet. And also I was going out to the front line and had a part in pushing this pandemic towards the end. And in November, late November, I got promoted to an assistant manager position. And I am still with the company. We opened another site in Faidai, and I have transferred to that new site. A lot of my drag has to do with taking up space, and it begins all the way from my name. So my name is just the word emigrate split in half, and it means to leave your home country in search of new and better things. And in the context of American culture, people only talk about immigration, which means other people are coming into your space, and there isn't as much empathy or consideration for why the other party had to leave their home, their comfort zone. And a lot of people have found the way I take up space aggressive. My drag has been described at times as confrontational, which initially I took great offense at because I was like, I'm a lovely person, why are you saying I'm confrontational? It's actually true because I don't necessarily use my drag as an escapist fantasy. I use it as a paradigm shift and a perspective change to helping myself and others face day-to-day life. And the experiences I talk about, migration, racial relations, they just happen to be extremely hostile, so people find that confrontational. And as an extension of that, I do believe drag always needs an entry point for the audience. The use of popular music and cultural references tends to be the go-to. I don't think I have that much in-depth knowledge and experience with American culture, so I try to make myself as beautiful as possible, and which is why I'm extremely adamant on doing my own makeup very well with fine details. So the origins of my drag career, it actually started in a sociology class on gender diversity. It was a mandatory elective. I was supposed to take like some advanced level sociology class for school, and I ended up in a class called gender diversity. And I was like, how can gender be diverse? There's only two. And then I went into the class and my whole world changed. And I was starting to experiment with gender. I was wearing women's perfume. I was doing manicures. I was trying to put on eyeliner and little heeled boots on campus. And everybody knew me as the gay who is like, has to be gay all the time. But also at the same time, I was not that involved with the other gays because I was trying to explore it on my own terms rather than experience it from an American culture perspective. Drag doesn't always necessarily play into my own gender identity. I know for a lot of people, that's how they discover their gender. For myself, I very rarely experience dysphoria. I've always known I was different and I've always embraced it. And I kind of have always kept it a personal business. And when I tell people in explicit terms that I am in fact transgender, they're like, wait, what? I am so shocked and shook and surprised. It's because people probably see me as a general weirdo, and sometimes they probably can't tell if the weirdo quality of who I am is cultural difference or gender nonconformity. I would say it's mostly gender nonconformity. In late 2017, I believe I proposed a plan to host a drag brunch at a bar to the nobodies. I was still kind of fresh and young and new in the business, and I wanted seasoned partners for my gig. And we became the first weekly brunch show in Brooklyn. And that show has kept on. One of the nobodies retired, the other one moved across the country, and I have a new host.
Amazing.
Nancy Noga.
Yes.
I met her actually all the way back in 2015, the winter of 2015 at Look Queen. We've been friends since, so I've been wanting to work with her, and I invited her to become my co-host for Brunch. And I have been back doing Brunch with my new co-host, which is Nancy Noga, since around Pride in 2021. And it's Sunday today, and I enjoy working with her. I always look forward to seeing her. Today we did not have brunch, and instead we are screening a motion pictures award show and calling bingo cards during the screening, which is a fun little new experience.
So I've known Emigrate since December of 2015. I'd only been doing drag for a month. I think she'd been doing drag for, a year or around that much. We met at a competition, and first of all, I didn't like her because she was better than me in the competition, but that's fine. But since then, we've grown to become really, really close friends. And if you ever go to a Emigrate show and you have not seen her drag before, you're going to expect a drag performance that is different from what's expected from a drag show, but it's so good, and she's so assured of herself, and she creates such a high level of her art that you would think that that's what you expect from every drag show. She is so incredible at creating a whole world with her drag, and with introducing her audience into her world. It's always something new and different.
Perhaps the one thing in my life I decided to do out of my own volition and have kept at it, and I am at the 7.5 years mark, and I'm incredibly proud of the work that I've done, the people that I've met, and the company I keep. Thank you very much for being here. It means a lot to me. I don't take this lightly. I have been in the process of writing some cabaret shows for myself because I really want to get into performing music. Someone recently told me, all the legendary queens sing live, and you have a voice and you should sing. And I have kind of taken that to heart, and I have been taking voice lessons. My biggest influence, I would say, is Celine Dion. I watched the DVD and behind the scenes of her very first Las Vegas show. There was a concert DVD as well as a behind the scenes documentary. I saw that and I was like, yeah, I want to do that. It's a show that is built around her. They even built the Colosseum just so she could do a residency. And everything is built around her, and people come from all over the world to see her. And yeah, that's the kind of level I want to connect with people at. I very much enjoy doing drag live. I don't think there is any substitute for a live audience, and a lot of the performances that I have done actually work because there is an audience to react to it. So it's good to be having that connection again with the audience. I will always be a visual spectacle because that is my entry point. You can always expect very refined makeup, very streamlined looks, If you don't take away anything from my show regarding content, you will always remember, you will at least remember that I look beautiful and you want to see me again. I want to be the next RuPaul. I want to have a cultural legacy that is similar to what RuPaul has created. I think I can do it, but when will I get there? How long will it take? Let's figure out together. In the meantime, for the short term, I would like to get some more gigs for film and television.